Well, I don't know how many multiple doses of Sylvia Strong Johnny Bianco can handle, but she's back again, this time with John Van and Guy Cormier, the undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the originals, defending the titles against Rikishi and Samoa Joe.
Seriously, how much Sylvia can I handle? All you guys can dish out, and more besides.
Man, I don't think I've ever seen anyone bitten this bad.
The following tag team contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit, and it is for the RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Championships. The challengers, at a combined weight of 675 pounds, the team of Rikishi and Samoa Joe. Hey, looky who's joining us for this one. Enjoying the trip, Myron?
Oh, you guys, you have no idea. Look, I love this Japan tour stuff. All right, so look, I come in to give you a little bit of insight on how this one came along. Now, everybody knows the originals have whipped the world 3 times. That's what we say around here. Sylvia, John, and Guy, they all wanted something different, something we haven't done before, somebody they haven't faced before for the titles. And so, well, Joe and Rikishi haven't been doing too badly for themselves, and they were on board for it, so here we are.
It's definitely one we haven't seen before. These Samoan engines of destruction outweigh the originals by a hefty margin, and I know John and Guy are stand-up brawlers, but I suppose it's another case of the stronghold raising the bar for themselves again. You got insights, GB. What do you think makes Sylvia do this?
Hang on, I love the sentence.
Their opponents, accompanied by Sylvia Strong, at a combined weight of 520 pounds, they are the RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the Chicago Hammer John Man, and the Staten Island Crippler, Guy Cormier. They are the originals. We did talk about that, and I don't think it's off the record. But all the Stronghold wrestlers have this mindset of proving why they're the top thing in this promotion by not staying in a comfort zone or resting on their laurels. To quote Sylvie, even if you lose, you still ended up proving yourselves. And they all think like that. Super competitive bunch, all of them.
Well, I guess that's part of the way the originals have held on to the undisputed World Tag Team titles for all these years. We've gone back in the books, and that's exactly 6 years since the originals won those belts when they unified the Northern and Southern Tag Team Championships. Yeah, and they held the Northern Tag Team Championships for 5 years before that.
You have got a memory and a half, Myron.
It's my job to know these things.
I'm taking Rikishi and Joe's stats into account and everything. But I'm still banking on John and Guy to retain the belts like they've been doing for so long.
Same for me. I'm like 98% sure they'll pull it off.
I'm with them. What do you think, Tex? Now forget about it. John and Guy are going to eat these guys' lunch. It is just like you said, Wally. This is one we don't see every day. Rikishi Fatu and the Chicago Hammer starting us off. Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. Here we go. They lock up. John Van whips Rikishi to the corner. Delivers a hard forearm. Rebounds off the ropes. Bulldog. Oh, man. John Van rounding up Rikishi Fatu. Counters with a jawjacker. Rikishi locks up, but John counters with another kick. A throat chop from Rikishi Fatu. Going for the slam. John Van thought different about it. John Van trying for some kind. Oh, Rikishi said no, not me either. Kick to the midsection. A couple of hard shots from the Chicago Hammer and a forearm backs Rikishi up a good step. Rikishi laid up against the ropes. John Van whips him off the ropes, ducks under, rebounds himself, and boom! Whoa, clothesline spins Rikishi rather sizable ass over T-Kettle. And here comes the Staten Island Crippler John Cormier on the tag. Hard stomp to the midsection, a kick to the chest. Guy Cormier rounds up Rikishi. Rikishi, with little do the hustle, winds up in the fireman's carry and a Samoan drop. Guy Cormier. Rikishi missing with that leg drop, though. Hard overhand right from Guy Cormier. Guy making his way up topside. Rikishi making his way to the corner. Here comes Samoa Joe. And Guy Cormier locks it up with Samoa Joe. The Samoan submission machine has him up. Double knee breaker. Man. Unorthodox stuff from Samoa Joe. A jab, a chop. Rounds him up. Knee breaker. And twists the knee, too. He's going to wear out Guy Cormier's knees. That's the strategy. Stomp to the arm. Samoa Joe rounds him up. Whips Cormier into the far corner. Joe sits him up in the baby in the high chair. Oh, man, look at this. Oh, man, what a buster. Boom. Oh, man. That's got to say. All right. Joe covers one. John Van saves the day here. Rikishi tries to show John Van the way out, but winds up giving him a shot to the back before he does. And look at this, Samoa Joe going for a cover. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Guy Cormier powering out of that pin. Knee to the head of Guy Cormier. Hard kick to the back from Samoa Joe. Meanwhile, Rikishi for 2 working on the Chicago Hammer on the outside. Up and over the shoulders goes, oh man, Samoa Joe. Hip first into the turnbuckle. Power work there from Guy Cormier. Driving a knee into the throat of Samoa Joe. Meanwhile, Rikishi for 2 on the outside with John Van. Suplex from Rikishi on John Van. Knuckles to the side of the head of Samoa Joe from Guy Cormier as both men from the outside make their way back to their tag corners. Samoa Joe taken down by Guy Cormier into a headlock. Cormier. Oh, look at this. Samoa Joe finds his way out. And John Van finds his way in. Joe back on his feet. John Van locks him up. Up over the shoulder. Hung up on the top rope. Down goes Samoa Joe. Oh, John Van missing with that fist drop. Hurt his hand. Kick to the midsection. They lock up again. John Van with a pretty good scoop slam. And that 300-plus pounder Samoa Joe. In comes Guy Cormier on the tag. Cormier slams the arm of Samoa Joe. More knuckles to the side of the head. Here we are back again. The originals firing on all cylinders here for sure. They lock it up. Cormier has him up over the shoulder, hangs him up off the top rope again. Man, Samoa Joe looking for the way out of town. Here comes John Van. Can he make it in time? Yes, he does. There's Rikishi for 2. Rikishi with a throat chop, a jab, a chop across the chest. Kick to the midsection from John Van. Right, a chop. Oh, man, Rikishi ducked that last one. Up over the shoulders, but John Van says, no, you don't, DDT. Right on the crown of Rikishi for 2. And a stomp to the head of Rikishi. The Chicago Hammer making his way topside. Boom! Crossbody, cover, 1. And only 1. Rikishi for 2. That's a powerful fella. Rikishi still laid out near center ring. John Van gonna try it again. Waiting for Rikishi for 2 to stand himself up. And here it goes. Whoa! Rikishi for 2 catches John Van, has him up and pitches him like a bag of trash. Rikishi rounds up John Van, has him up. Sidewalk slam from the rather sizable Samoan. Rikishi rounds him up. John Van up over the shoulders, but John Van going to get himself out of the fireman's carry with a series of shots to the head of Rikishi. Up over the shoulders goes Rikishi, and oh man, a knee into the gut. John Van gathers him up again. Oh man, whoa, man. A little bit of 2-in-1 there from John Van, who goes for the cover and hooks the leg. 1, 2, and no. Rikishi powering out again. Oh, Joe looking on. Oh, here we go. John Van locking in that brain claw. And here comes Samoa Joe to the rescue. That brain claw's won the originals a whole bunch of matches. John Van has to release that claw. Goes back to work on Rikishi. Leg breaker from John Van. And Rikishi definitely feeling that one in the knee. Here comes Guy Cormier on the tag. Sylvia Strong just rallying the troops here. Stomp to the midsection. And here we go into a submission. I didn't notice it before, but Guy Cormier's bleeding. Rikishi for 2. in a fix here. Look at that clothesline, takes down Samoa Joe. Guy Cormier ultimately releasing the hold, delivers a stinging right to the head of Samoa Joe and delivers an arm snap to Rikishi. Cormier drives a knee into the canvas, takes himself out, and here comes John Van again. Rikishi taking a beating on him knees. Now John Van going to work on the hands too. Oh man. Whoa. The Chicago Hammer trying to hold Rikishi for two, but no good. Forearm and a clothesline that takes John Van down to the canvas. Rikishi for two going to beat it out of town. Here comes Samoa Joe. John Van back on his feet. They lock it up. Joe whipped to the far corner. John Van with a right and another. Rebounds off the ropes. And there's that bulldog again. Samoa Joe getting just out of the way of that fist drop one more time. John Van taken down with a clothesline. Joe steps out, and here comes Rikishi again. Maybe a little bit too soon. They lock up. Rikishi catching elbows to the midsection from John Van. Ooh, quick counter from Rikishi. Equally quick counter. And a headbutt from Rikishi for two. And a super kick that takes John Van down to the canvas. Now he is just dribbling John Van's head like a basketball against the canvas. Rikishi for two. Rounds up John Van. Has him up. Sets him up for another sidewalk slam. Oh, John Van starting to have a little bit of trouble here. Throat chop. John Van ducks out of the way, but catches a kick and a DDT from Rikishi. Rikishi covers. 1, 2. Well, that was close. Almost had us some new tag team champions. Rikishi for two. Rounds up John Van. A throat chop again. Oh, man. Rikishi for two. Got John Van stunned here. John Van counters his way out with elbows to the gut. He locks up Rikishi. Tries for the belly to belly, but another headbutt. Rikishi from behind with another headbutt. And just hurls him across town towards his team's corner. John Van gathered up again, and he's bleeding too. Oh, man. A throat chop, a forearm. And now, torturing the arm against those ropes. Rikishi for two has taken control of this situation here. And here comes Samoa Joe on the tag, and here we go. We're going to get ourselves a double team. Oh, double knees to the midsection for John Van. Samoa Joe stomps the arm of John Van. John Van counters with a jawjacker. Running close. Whoa, man, took Samoa Joe down, but hard. John Van locks him up. Escorts him to the original's corner, head first into the turnbuckle, hard right hand, and then another. And a forearm. John Van going for that bulldog again. Oh, man. Well, the original's quickly regaining control of this match. And here comes John Van. Boom! Right across Samoa Joe. John Van makes his way out. Here comes Guy Cormier. Samoa Joe's laid out and motionless. Cormier rounds him up, goes for the cover, might as well. 1, 2. Well, shut up. Rikishi for two, looking on as Samoa Joe gets back to his feet, delivers a chop across, and tries for the sweep, but no. Clothesline from Guy Cormier. And now back into this camel clutch submission. Man, Cormier's starting to really rock that Crimson Mask. Here comes Rikishi for two to the rescue. Was debating going after John Van, but thought better of it. Samoa Joe with an enziguri takes Guy Cormier down just about center ring. Joe rounds him up. Kick to the midsection from Guy. Joe locks him up again. Up and over the shoulders. Where's this going? Oh, man, just Guy Cormier just hung up on the rope. Cormier quickly back to his feet, takes down Samoa Joe with a shoulder tackle. Cormier, look at that. Nasty takedown right there. Cover. 1, 2. And again, Rikishi for two saving this match for his team. But John Van shows him the door. Whoa! Quick takedown by Samoa Joe. Almost didn't see it happen. Oh man, machine gun shots and a chop. It takes Cormier down. And Samoa Joe going all the way up to the top. Drops an elbow across the chest of Guy Cormier. A stomp to the chest thereafter and a stomp again. Samoa Joe trying to regain control of things here. Look at this, a bow and arrow stretch on Guy Cormier. Referee Walt Rothburn watching it. Here's John Van, said he's seen enough, comes to the rescue. Samoa Joe back to his feet, locks up John Van. Whips Van to the outside, out onto the apron. Samoa Joe rounds up Guy Cormier. Whips Guy to the far corner. Oh, Guy Cormier counters with an elbow. Locks up Samoa Joe. Has him up in the fireman's carry. Knee to the midsection. Oh, Joe definitely filled that one. Cormier quickly rounds him up again. Escorting Samoa Joe to the originals corner. Head first into the buckle goes Joe. Here comes John Van on the tag, and here comes a double team from the originals. Joe whipped to the ropes. And, whoa, look at this. Whoa, that was pretty. Nice job from the O's. Little bit of tag team tandem there, and here we go again with the claw on Samoa Joe. John Van got it locked in pretty good. Here comes Rikishi for two. Misses with the kick. The referee says that's enough. It's all done. Samoa Joe is out, and the originals retain the Undisputed World Tag Team Championships by submission. Let's get the official word from Buck Morton.
The time, 12 minutes and 22 seconds. Your winners, and still, are WL Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the originals.
Well, there you see them, battered, beaten, and bloody. But still, the Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the originals, defeating Rikishi Fatu and Samoa Joe in their first ever matchup. And wow, what a championship matchup we've had here on Snark.
So hey, for once, everybody guessed right. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back, gentlemen.
And that puts the stronghold at 3 for 3 on the night. And you just better believe there's gonna be some major celebrating going on after tonight's show.
Alright guys, that was fun. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get to the garage and get out of here before the traffic starts.
Thanks, Myron Schimmelman, for the insight into this one. And we'll see you soon. The originals doing what they do so well, defending the RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Championships. And yeah, the Stronghold totally has every right to party after a night like this.
Damn straight they do. All right, folks, the Legends World title on the line. The Ultimate Warrior defending against Mr. Perfect when we come back.